Good morning. My name is Jennifer Turner, and I direct the China Environment Forum here at the Woodrow Wilson Center. I want to welcome you to our Green Tea Chat on China's methane mitigation in the era of climate boiling. This summer was hot in the United States West, North China, and beyond. July was the hottest month in the world's history, which led UN Secretary Antonio Guterres to declare at the end of July, the era of global boiling has arrived. Now, at the China Environment Forum, we've long focused on CO2 and coal emission challenges between the US and China, but today we're going to shift the conversation to looking at methane mitigation in China. Now, do recall, the reason we're talking about methane is in 2021, the US and China, they prioritized cooperation on methane in their Glasgow Declaration. The collaboration has not yet started for reasons many of you know, but independently, the US and China are both starting to take more action on methane. The US signed the Global Methane Pledge, and China has or soon will launch a National Methane Action Plan. But there's already movement on this. Now, today, I'm excited to have my friend Hu Tao here to join us for this talk on methane. He is an environmental economist and ecologist who, when we met 20 years ago, was working at a think tank in the Ministry of Environmental Protection, doing lots of research and modeling on big national questions of how, for example, what are the co-benefits to air pollution if you take climate action? Later, he ended up working at World Resource Institute and WWF in the United States. And a couple of years ago, he created his own NGO based in Shenzhen. It's called the Lakestone Institute for Sustainable Development. And now he's doing on-the-ground, small off-grid methane capture projects in urban and rural China. Now, he and I chatted yesterday in preparation for this chat, and we decided that small can be beautiful and impactful. So to learn about some of the impactful work that Hu Tao is doing on the ground, and to talk about methane action in China more broadly, I have my friend Hu Tao here, and reminding the audience that you can submit questions in the Q&A box down below. I have some questions that some of you submitted earlier, but you can ask those questions in the box anytime. Hu Tao, you ready to get started? You can unmute yourself.
Yes, I'm ready.
And so, you have your tea?
Good morning, everyone. Yes,
tea.
So my tea. Yeah.
So the first question we're going to start off with is that, could you give us an anecdote on what you were on your first project, on your first methane project in a rural community in Shaoguan in northern Guangdong province? So tell us about the project, and I'm just going to I'm going to share one slide that is about the technology. You ready? You can start talking.
Yes. Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah.
Tell us about the project.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, Jennifer, for your nice introduction. So last year, when my think tank, Lakestone Institute for Sustainable Development, list being registered in Shenzhen. You know, Shenzhen is China's high-tech center. Guangdong province has also the GDP growth is very fast. And the air pollutions in the urban, water pollution in the urban already more or less being controlled. And in the rural countryside, the new environment challenges are water pollution, the soil contamination is these issues. And also from the climate perspective, more or less, the efforts are focusing on the carbon dioxide. Now, since, as you mentioned, the Glasgow Declaration, and the US-China jointly communicate, all focus on the methane issue. So I'm thinking we should do something in the rural countryside to greenhouse gas emission, to control the greenhouse gases. So exactly as you said, I did the work before for the co-benefits of co-control of air pollutants and the greenhouse gas emission. Now this time I shifted to the methane and its co-benefits. One side we can control methane as the second largest greenhouse gases. And at the same time, we can improve the water quality and soil fertilization in the rural countryside. This is why we choose Shaoguan, the northern part of Guangdong, as a pilot project. We got a grants from the Tencent Foundation. Tencent is headquartered in Shenzhen, so they are very active to support us to do this demonstration project. So basically, what we're doing in Shaoguan like this. One side, left side is inputs. The inputs are sewage, animal manures, and the kitchen and food waste. We put into the anaerobic digester. That is to digest, to produce methane, carbon dioxide, water, and some others. But mostly we capture methane and use it, generate electricity by our biogas generator. The electricity combined with solar panel generated electricity broadly could be wind, hydro as a supplementary energy system. Put all of the energy together into the energy storage system, which is mainly the batteries. And that's become a microgrid. The microgrid actually is not only capture the methane and utilize the methane, is also the adaptation in the rural area. When typhoon comes, suddenly the electricity outage happens, but still in the region, in the small village, we still have our own grid. We support the villagers to use electricity. So that's the system design. The outputs of the system actually is green power, is meaning, instead of the traditional coal-fired power plants, we use the solar, wind, and the biogas to generate electricity. And for the rural area, we could, if necessary, we could also produce organic fertilizers for the farmers. Most importantly, and the very significant outputs actually is CCER. CCER means China Certified Emission Reductions, which is the base for the China's voluntary carbon emission market. We can help the farmers, one side, to utilize the organic waste, at the same time to generate electricity and produce credits, carbon credit, to sell in the carbon market. This is generally what we're doing in Shaoguan.
And well, I'm glad you brought up the CCER. So China has a national emission trading system, and that's mainly the power sector. But just this summer, the China certified emission reduction system just came in force. I mean, is it functioning already?
Actually, it is for the governmental authority, MEE, is a reopen, because 10 years ago it started in 8 pilot projects, mainly in Beijing. They started the CCER market, but later they found the CCER market still exists some lack of methodology, such problems. So this spring, the MEE calls for the contributions of emissions reduction methodology. Now they're planning to reopen the CCER market. It's a voluntary emissions trading market. It's different with the Shanghai National Emissions Trading Market. The Shanghai one is mandatory. First, the coal-fired power plants, they must reduce emission, mainly the carbon dioxide emissions. For the CCER market, is more broadly, it's not a mandatory requirement, it's voluntary based. Like my project, the CCER, the system could produce carbon credit equivalents that could be sold in the CCER voluntary market. In the future, the national the ME's plan is to link the voluntary market and monetary market together. Not 100%, but so far it's only allowed 5% of CCER credit goes into the national monetary market.
Well, that's good. So, and what I love about, when I heard the news about the CCER and the fact that it's going to focus on methane, is that this does open up a lot of opportunities for, these kind of like off-grid projects. But yours is unique. I mean, is anyone else in China doing this kind of small methane capture with all these, the battery storage as you are? Okay, it looks like we lost him again. Hu Tao will hopefully sign back in. I would like to, I know when we talked yesterday that Hu Tao told me that at the moment, there is no one who is yet doing these kinds of projects the way he is. I mean, there's a lot of biogas projects where farmers will just produce for themselves, but to have a whole community, not only in rural areas, but also some peri-urban and even some cities. There are smaller communities, not giant, but maybe, he says like, well, maybe anywhere from, a couple thousand people where they might be able to also capture their methane this way. But again, it's unique because of the battery system he mentioned. I just told them that yours is a unique project. So I answered your question, but let's move on a moment. Maybe I'll stop this so we can then see you more clearly. So you started this in Shaoguan, which is kind of a city. It's a city, but it is kind of in the rural areas, right? Oh, no, that's rural. But what about, you have some urban projects. Can you tell us about a similar project that you're doing in the city with the same technology, but tell us about some kind of challenges you might have, because cities don't have animal waste.
I'm going to start my another project in Huzhou City, Zhejiang Province. That's in the urban residential community, and the same technology as you mentioned. And most of the waste, actually, there's no animal waste for sure. It's from the kitchen waste and the food waste. And the problem also, we're also trying to test some sludge from the residential communities. When the sewage goes into the sewage power plant, some sludge sitting in the bottom. We probably also could use some sludge put into our anaerobic digester to generate the methane, capture methane, use the same technology, and to generate biogas electricity combined with solar and wind and others. The biggest challenge for us in the urban area actually is the garbage sorting system. Sometimes, residents, they don't sort the garbage very well. We have to solve the problems. So my partner, actually, they are using the AI technology to automatically identify who's who, goes to like the kitchen waste, goes to our digester, and the other waste actually goes to the recycle center and others. So I'm very excited to start a new project together with my partner. They are doing the AI garbage sorting system.
Yeah, garbage sorting has, back in 2018, when there was a voluntary system where 46 cities had to come up ways to sort and collect and sort waste, because China's having a waste crisis as well. So, your timing is good, because a lot of cities, they're mandated with the new solid waste law as well to sort their waste. And so where does the electricity go? Because this is when you're generating electricity, how do the people benefit from it in the city?
In the city, actually, we can use the electricity for public works, like there normally we put the electricity first. Two ways to go. One goes to the state grid. We can sell the green electricity to the state grid. Another one actually can be used for lighting, for our own machine, for the digester, anaerobic digester, we should keep it warm to ensure the batteries has enough heat to work and to keep 35 Celsius degree. This is a challenge. That's why we use additional extra energy. When we generate electricity, if no other use, we can use our digester, keep it warm. This is another function.
Yeah, well, I have a question. We got a question from someone from the group, Maggie Gallagher from Resolve. She had asked about, I mean, she was thinking of your rural cases, like how do you get the farmers, and in this case also I'm interested, the city people to participate? And you told us a little bit about how it benefits them, but I think that particularly for the farmers, they're busy people. I mean, how is it? Can you maybe go back to Xiaoguan? I mean, is this are they volunteers, or how's this happen that you get them to help you out with this project?
Okay, in the rural countryside, actually right now in China, the farmers are not busy. The young farmers, they go to the city to do the industrial work. In the rural countryside, normally the women or the elders. So people are actually not, they are not busy, but we provide incentives to encourage them to participate. When they give us the kitchen waste, we make a record, give them credits. The credits they can go to a specific credit market to get some the ordinary stuff like toothpaste, toothbrush, like towels, like cooking oil. They can use their credit to exchange. So we encourage the villagers to participate in our program. This is a major one. Yeah.
I'm gonna turn off my video so we have less of it. So that way, I want you to stay on, Huda, but maybe it'll help with you not getting frozen. I have another question for you that we got from Christine Gulbert, from a French journalist. She asks, this is broad. This is not with, methane from waste is a big problem, but she's curious about what China's doing to plug the leaks of methane from old coal mines. So coal bed methane, what efforts do you know is happening there?
As I know, China has already made the National Methane Action Plan, including the methane emission from oil, gas, from the coal bedding, and waste and agricultural. I'm not working in the coal bed methane issue, but I do know, there are some actions are to be taken. As I know, China is going to launch a satellite to monitor the methane emissions from the coal beds and oil and gas and agricultural waste and like sewage treatment plants, no matter where the methane emissions come from. So the satellite, currently China does have the satellite, but they need a high resolution one. So together with one state-owned company, they are right now working on the new satellite to have more higher resolution to monitor the methane emissions. I think this is one action they are going to take. And they probably also going to give in the future, if put in the methane action plan, they will give the emission allowance to the coal mines, ensure them to take actions and to utilize the methane emission from the coal beds. And I think since I'm not working in the sector, I don't know the details. This is roughly I learned from colleagues from MEE.
Yeah, well, so what about, I mean, you've mentioned the China's methane action plan, and Lily Pike, who's a freelance reporter, she wanted to ask if you could explain why China hasn't released the methane plan yet publicly. or is it out and we just have missed it?
I think last time during the COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt, the special climate envoy, Mr. Xie, has already mentioned China has more or less prepared the Methane National Action Plan, but not released yet. And I guess, China is trying to find a good opportunity to release the action plan. The action plan is originally from the US-China joint communique. China wants to give the opportunity. What I learned maybe is not true. And the rumor says that China wants to release announced the missing action plan when State Secretary Tony Clinton visited China. Well, it seems the political tensions still exist. They didn't release a report. And they give another chance is give John Kerry, the special envoy, climate envoy from US. But it seems the talk when during the John Kerry's visit to Beijing still not good. They did not release yet so far. Another chance is to release it to the COP28 in Dubai. This is I learned the rumors.
Okay, well, so they're waiting for the good opportunity. I guess I got a related question that from Alok Gupta, a freelance environmental journalist, going back to the CCER. Do you know, is there any data about how much methane China plans to capture under CCER? Are there some specific targets?
I guess not, because this is a voluntary based. The CCER is a kind of mechanism to incentivize the voluntary based capture, methane capture. So they don't set up the specific targets. And in the methane action plan, actually there are some specific, I guess, for the oil and gas and the coal, there are also some mandatory targets. For the voluntary one, normally they don't set up the target. They may have some estimation rather than controlled target.
Okay, now we're getting a lot of questions now. We're going to go just a couple minutes over since we lost you for a few minutes freezing. Okay, Barbara Francis Dello asks, China's a large country. How might you be able to take your project and spread it more widely? I mean, you're one guy.
Yeah, I think, my project is at the demonstration pilot period, but my goal actually is to commercialize, because for this project, we can gain a lot of co-benefits besides the methane emission reduction. We gain the benefits of the water pollution improvement and the soil contamination improvement. And those are actually, we get as a green power. Those are the co-benefits. Those co-benefits, so it's also incentivize the farmers to actively participate in the program. So I think in the future, yeah.
And with the CCER, they could actually get additional compensation, because it's.
That's exactly.
I mean,
right.
you were joking when you said farmers are not busy. There are farmers in China that are very busy, and to get them to take in climate action, be it in China or the United States, farmers need to have incentives, because financial or otherwise. Barbara also asked, are there any kind of negative side effects from your project?
So far, I haven't seen any negative impacts for my project. I think, as I mentioned, we have some challenges for the garbage sorting. We need even more government supportive policies to support us. I haven't seen any negative one.
Okay, well,
but we do need the do need more support.
Okay, so all right, and Rajendra Singh has two questions. One is, are you planning on commercializing this technology beyond China? Because I also had some other questions earlier who are interested in whether or not these kind of technologies could be used in Africa, et cetera.
Why not? So if successful in China, why don't we commercialize in Belt and Road, countries and even US? So I found US farmers, especially this isolated single house, also need such a kind of equipment that could be, be used for at least, don't mention the carbon set for US, the single houses. Normally, when the hurricane comes, they really need a kind of energy backup system to avoid the electricity outreach.
All right, I'm gonna take a step back and this kind of modifying a question I got from Nancy Chun from the State Department. Could the kind of project you're doing, could this be an area that could become part of the US-China cooperation on methane? But also my bigger question is, what do you think the good opportunities are for the US and China to cooperate on methane? I'm smiling right now.
Yeah.
Big questions.
I really smiled, Jennifer. Although I cannot see it, but I really smile. And I don't know. I wish actually, my current project could be in the future could be part of the China-US methane cooperation. I really wish, because this is a problem not only China is facing, US is also facing as well. I think that's very important.
But remember too that the two had mentioned in the Glasgow Agreement that they wanted to also work on helping to decarbonize developing countries. So this kind of smaller tech, again, small is beautiful when, because it could be very mobile. There could be opportunities here. But what about on other types of methane? Because I know you work a lot with MEE. Is there some good areas that are ripe for the bilateral cooperation?
I think, for the oil and the gas, coal ban, and probably agricultural and methane, and the large scale waste could be also have. So my project is mostly focused on small scale waste methane. Before could be, I could find more application. Not only the rural and the countryside. Actually, on my pilot project, I'm still trying to use to apply the technology in the hotels. For the hotels, they have also produced some kitchen waste, and also for the highway rest area, and for some national parks. So those are hardly to connect to the pipelines of wastewater treatment plant, and also difficult to remove the kitchen waste, organic waste from one place to another place. Those are potentially to be applied. So I think broadly in the future, it is China-US could have cooperation in this small scale waste methane capture and utilization.
No, thank you. Yeah, I know. I mean, the US EPA, they're big in the global methane initiative, and that focuses a lot on this area as well. I want to wrap this up. I want to remind people that, the China Environment Forum with Ohio State University, we've been cooperating for the past year on our project. We're calling it Cool Agriculture now. So looking at US-China climate leadership on food and agriculture. And one of the issues that we were looking at this year, which Rajendra Singh asked a question about, methane from paddy fields, which is it's a huge source after cows. It's the next biggest source of agricultural methane emission. And it's a very tricky problem. And there are scientists, we've discovered there are scientists in the US and China who have been working both independently and together, because you try to control methane in the rice paddies, it can increase nitrous oxides. We'll have a rice meeting soon, but Hu Tao, do you think that rice paddy methane is an area that you think could work well in a U.S.-China bilateral?
I think right now rice paddy methane could be in China could be put into the voluntary emissions reduction program. Could be also being used as a credit can be if to be certified the methane emissions from the rice paddy field could be the CCER could be also be sold in the trade in the CCER market. The problem is somehow the methodology somehow is a little bit premature. The scientists are still doing the research how to measure, how to control the rice paddy field. But I guess in the heart of China, together with ASEAN countries, together with other rice production countries like India, to put on the mandatory emission reduction target.
Yeah, well, it's also that keeping in mind too that it is a tricky, it's a, shall we say, it's a sticky rice problem that we have in trying to control the methane and nitrous oxides. You know, I mean, you can do it, but yield can go down, and that's a no-go, right? For China and Southeast Asia, we can't lose yield, but at the same time, you know, because if you lower yield, you lower livelihood. So I'm excited to hear that this might be part of the CCER system as well. Okay, we've caught up with the time that we missed when you were frozen, but I want to thank all of you for tuning in today, and I'll have Hu Tao back. We'll get the tech better next time. Sorry, I don't know what the cosmos was against us, but thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. And Hu Tao, always a pleasure to see and hear you.
Thank you very much. Sorry, I have been frozen, although it's not because of the climate reason.
Well, you also been very hot too. All right, so we will talk soon, and thank you very much for joining us. And if anyone's interested, you could sign up to join our mailing list if you're not on it already. Bye-bye.
Bye.